Hi, my name's James Joshua Otto, and I'm here today with Fracture Sounds to walk you through the latest release in the free Blueprint series, Music Box. This is a small mechanical toy music box which is perfect for spooky and atmospheric compositions. What I'm going to do in this video today is I'll talk you through the Kontakt interface here. I'll play you some of the samples so you can hear how they sound, and then we'll go through my Logic session for my demo track together so that you can see what sample libraries I decided to pair Music Box with, as well as we'll talk about some of the compositional decisions that I made along the way. So let's start off by having a look at the interface here. You'll see we've got 4 controls to have a look at, the first of which is the age control. Now, what this is doing under the hood is adding a processing chain to sort of make the samples sound a bit more weathered, adding that sort of aging to the samples, making them sound a bit more lo-fi. So if I turn this up, you'll hear it's adding that sort of lo-fi weathering to the sound. Really fun. The damping control is here to make the samples sound a bit more muted, a bit damped. So if I turn this up as I'm playing, you'll see kind of changing the way that they feel. Brilliant. We have an atmosphere layer here. Let me turn that up and solo it so you can hear how that sounds. And finally, we have the reverb control. Let me turn this all the way up. This contains the 4 usual types of reverb that we include with sample libraries. So we have a room reverb, hall, shimmer, and a convolution reverb as well. And on the settings page here, we have a velocity response slider, which allows you to control how the instrument responds to the incoming velocities. So if I turn it all the way down here and then play really gently, you'll see the instrument still responds quite strongly. Similarly, if I play really hard, it's not a massive difference. Whereas if I turn this all the way up and play really gently, and then play really strongly, it's got a much wider velocity range. So that sort of helps you to shape the dynamic response of the instrument. And that is the whole interface. Now, remember, this library is completely free. You can grab it from the Fracture Sounds website. All you need to do is sign up with your email address and you'll get notified of all future Blueprint releases as well. This works in the free Kontakt player, so you don't need to buy anything additionally for this to work. Now what we'll do next is I will load up my Logic session for my demo track and we'll break that down together so you can see what's going on a bit under the hood. Okay, so that's my demo track for Music Box. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's talk a little bit about the sample libraries that I've used, how I've used them, and how I've structured the piece with all of this in mind. So, of course, we start with Music Box. This is a Music Box demo, so I wanted to put Music Box front and center right at the very beginning. So there's not very much going on with it. We've got this one single note that comes in these two string formations layers, really to set the atmosphere a little bit. I think they work so well with the sort of ghostliness of Music Box. Really brings that character out of string formations as well. And the same really goes for Petrichor. When that enters here, we really get that sort of ghostliness character from these textural libraries. It's part of the character of Music Box, I think, and they really complement each other really well in that way. And then here we have the flugelhorn from brass band soloists. And I think that this is such a great counterpoint to the ghostliness of the other libraries here. The warmth and the sort of gentle sonority of the flugelhorn, playing this counter melody against the Music Box melody, works really well, I think, to kind of offset the coldness of those other layers. Let me just play you these 4 layers without, so the start really without Music Box, so you can hear what they're doing and how they're working against Music Box. I'll play it from here because the first bit's just a single note. Feels like really evocative to me, really doing a job of creating the atmosphere of the piece. And then this obviously leads us into the second half. So we have brass band soloist flugelhorn there, which is our latest commercial release, and it's still on intro pricing at the moment, so we'll put a link to that in the description. If you haven't checked that out yet, do go and have a look. And I've used the tenor horn from the same library here in the second half. That takes on the melody from the Music Box, which itself takes on a more accompanying role. So I turned up the age slider here so that the character of the library has changed slightly. I feel like it changes the timbre a little bit. It just helps it to sit a little bit further back in the mix. So that's why it comes in here against this Music Box layer, so we kind of ease that transition as it's almost like it's moving a bit further away, I think. Now, in the second half of the piece, what I really wanted to do was create a little bit more motion, a little bit more propulsion through the second half, so it's a little bit more rhythmic, which is why we have the blueprint short strings coming in here, doing this kind of ostinato feel to give us that motion, to give us that propulsion. But it's all working really well with the deep drums and solo octoband brushes from Tom Factory. Now, with the deep drums here, they're doing this kind of just marking the bar almost, whilst the octoband brushes are doing a sort of high snare. Let me play you those together. What I've done with the deep drums is I've rolled off some of the top there and boosted just the actual punchy bass frequencies, so that really helps them to feel really subby and really deep. And with the octoband brushes, I've taken out some of the highs and some of the lows to leave us with this band, which is kind of giving that really clear, crisp, kind of clappy snare kind of sound. So let me play you just those so you can hear what they're up to. So I think that works really nicely as a way to give us a little sort of beat, a little bit of motion with everything else that's going on. We also have the blueprint electric keys here, which are also continuing to add some of that rhythmic stuff, but as well as that, they're also giving us some of the lower frequencies, lower pitches here in the chords, in the harmony, to fill out some of those bass notes, which I think works really nicely to add some richness. Let me play you all of those rhythmic layers together. So we've got the short strings from Blueprint, the Blueprint electric keys, and the Tom Factory stuff here, and you can see then how they're all working together to create a kind of rhythmic motor through the second half. Let's also add in music box as well. And I think all of these work so nicely with the tenor horn. Which just sings out beautifully over the top. Nice. And then to finish off the piece, we have the music box, of course, just on its own, really, like the person turning the handle is just slowly running out of steam. We have a nice big rit into the ending. And that's it. So I hope that's useful, and I hope you've enjoyed hearing what I've done with these other libraries. If you like what you hear in this track, we have some bundles that are available while Brass Band Soloists is on intro pricing. So you can currently get Brass Band Soloists with Petrichor as part of the Wind bundle. You can get them together as at a lovely discount. And then there's also the Nave bundle, which is the 3 libraries that we've recorded at the Nave Studios in Leeds. So that's Brass Band Soloists, String Formations and Tom Factory. You can get those 3 together at a great discount as well, and we'll put the links to all of those bundles and Brass Band Soloists itself in the description below. And that's everything. I hope you've enjoyed my demo track and this breakdown has been interesting and useful. Please do leave us a comment, tell us what you thought, leave us a like, and if you haven't already, then make sure you subscribe to the Fracture Sounds channel so you can keep up to date with everything that we've got coming up. Thank you so much for being here today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.